Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today we are on board Battleship Alabama in Mobile, Alabama. So if you're ever in that part of the world, be sure to tour her. She's one of the 8 museum battleships that are left in the United States. And Battleship Alabama has a feature that New Jersey would have had but lost in 1982. Right behind me here are a pair of Mark 63 gunnery directors. The Mark 63 is an improvement over the directors that were being used in World War II, and I imagine these had to be installed sometime between the end of the war and when this vessel was decommissioned in 47-ish. But the Mark 63 was a little bit different than the Mark 51s. The 40mm guns each had their own Mark 51 director. The Mark 51 could aim its individual gun and in theory could be cross-connected, although it did tend to be right above or in front of its gun mount, so it was really sighted in for that particular gun. And that's great. You have a bunch of enemy aircraft coming in and you've got to Yosemite Sam it and shoot in all directions at once. However, as aircraft got bigger and faster and started using kamikaze tactics, you needed more firepower to bring down a single aircraft, or you had to do more than just bring it down. You had to completely destroy it before it hit you. So the Mark 63 could do 2 things. You could slave multiple guns to one director so that they're all engaging the same target, and it could be used with the 3-inch 50 anti-aircraft guns, which the Navy was planning on replacing quad 40s like these with. When the Navy found a way with the 3-inch 50s, I believe they were Mark 12s, they figured out how to make them automatic so that it really boosts their rate of fire. The much heavier 3-inch projectile does have the stopping capacity, especially when partnered with a VT fuse, a variably timed fuse, to completely destroy an incoming kamikaze or to engage first-generation jet aircraft. And so those guns needed a more powerful director, and it's the Mark 63. So none of the American battleships were ever rearmed with the automatic 3-inch guns. However, many of them post-war had the process started. So different Iowa-class battleships got different levels of modifications. New Jersey received all 6 of her Mark 63 directors and retained them through the later 50s and through her Vietnam Commission. And the shipyard did not fix the Mark 63s. They didn't spend the money to do that, but her crew did, because if the 4 Mark 37s for the 5-inch guns went out, you could also slave the 5-inch guns to the Mark 63s. So they had all the ballistic computing for all of these various types of guns integral to the system. So the crew were able to reactivate those. The plan originally was to replace the 3-inch guns almost 1-for-1 with the 40mm guns. You've got quad 40s, you replace them with a twin 3-inch gun. You've got a twin 40, you replace it with a single 3-inch gun. However, with the auto-loading feature and whatnot, the weight tended to be different, so it would usually be you would replace 4 40mm mounts with 3 3-inch mounts. So in New Jersey's case, the midships triple-tiered stacks of 40mm guns, the 2 lower tiers were going to remain as 3-inch guns, and the upper tier is where one of those Mark 63 directors were. The turret tops were not going to get 3-inch guns. Those were some of the ones that were lost. That's more top weight being up on top of the turrets. And for all the power and stuff that is supposed to run to them, you've got a 7.5-inch or 7.25-inch armored roof that they're not going to drill a hole in for a cable run. So they just deleted that position entirely. Plus the 3-inch gun sits a little bit higher, it might have blocked the view of the bridge. So some of the Iowas even started to lose their 40mm mounts preparatory to having them replaced with 3-inch guns. But from 1955 to 1958, the Iowas are taken out of service and none of them ever get this. And of course, the South Dakotas, like USS Alabama that we're on, has also already been taken out of service. The 3-inch gun and her associated Mark 63 directors would have added a significant amount of anti-aircraft firepower during the early jet age, and it's a huge disappointment to me that, for budgetary reasons, that was never done. I think that would have been a very interesting modification to the ships. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State and also from a number of other businesses and private institutions. We really appreciate your support, but instead of supporting us for this video, there's a link in the description to Battleship Alabama. If you would like to support the ongoing restoration of this vessel, she has a number of features that the Iowa-class battleships do not, and that are worthy of saving. So consider donating to the Battleship Alabama Memorial Park, and consider subscribing to their YouTube channel. They're making very similar videos to what Battleship New Jersey is making. Thanks for watching.